New York City, also known as the Big Apple, one of the most famous cities in the world, a place where stars are born and dreams come true, and most noted for the birthplace of hip-hop that was created by DJ Kool Herc in 1973 in Bronx, New York. Since the creation of the genre of music, many iconic hip-hop artists have become legends from the Empire State. This culture was based on four principles: DJing, MCing, b-boying, and graffiti. As we all know, popular artists have a massive following around the world. But there's another side to it: the underground. There were many hip-hop groups that was formed on the underground scene that was making a lot of noise in the 90s. One particular group that had a die-hard fan base. They was called the Upstate Clique. Origin, place where the winters are frigid, the air is harsh, and the ground is cold. Welcome to Buffalo, New York. Growing up in Buffalo, New York was a beautiful thing for me. I remember coming outside in the summertime, sitting on the porch, watching the girls play double dutch and hopscotch, my homeboys out there playing basketball, kickball, and dodgeball. And one of the highlights of my memory is when the street lights came on. When the street lights came on, that means you had to be in the house, on the porch. If not, when the adults would escort you to the house or on the porch to make sure you got home safely. And I was a skinny kid, and I used to love donuts. It was a spot called Freddy's Donuts on Main Street. And I would eat and eat and eat till I got sick of all these donuts. And another highlight is steak subs, steak hoagies. It was a spot called Scotty's Steakhouse on Jefferson. And man, I would just eat every Friday, eat and eat and eat, watch karate movies with my father. It was a good time.
Growing up in Buffalo in the early 80s, it was kind of grimy. You know, I spent a lot of time over my grandma's house off of Fillmore Ave, near Humble Park, on Girard. A lot of love in the community, if you live in the community, but very grimy area if you're not from that area. If you're not from that block or from that part of town, you know, back in the 80s, you was getting chased out, for sure.
Growing up in Buffalo, New York, it was like on the streets where I was at, it was like we was raised like a village, you know what I'm saying? It was like, you know, we was young heads running around, but, you know, us being young heads, we always had respect for our elders, and it was like tiers. It was like, you know, we had, you know, grandmothers was like grandmothers and grandfathers was the highest, you know, then you got the uncles and mothers and all of that type of stuff, then you got the teens that was above us. We was raised by the teens that was above us, and, you know, and everybody else that was above them was the higher ranks. So, you know, when you do something, like if we was young, we was running around, because we was running around doing all kind of crazy stuff, but, you know, if we did something that was on some mischievous, you know, stuff, you know, we gonna get chastised from the cast that was above us, which was the teenagers, and, you know, and like older heads that was on the block until we get home. So we might get disciplined, you know, all the way down the block. You know what I mean? That's how we was raised, you know.
The first song that got me into hip hop was the song called Planet Rock. I remember very clearly, I went to the school. It was a Catholic school right in the middle of the hood. It was a hood Catholic school. It was called DC. And I remember walking into the gym as a kid, and I'm watching this talent show, and these kids on stage doing this dance. They call it waving and popping now, but back then they call it the electric boogie. And I'm saying to myself, what kind of dance is they doing? So I asked my friend, he like, yo, this is a new dance out, it's called the electric boogie. And they was dancing off the song called Planet Rock. And when I first heard Planet Rock, I knew hip hop was for me.
The first rap song that attracted me to hip hop, I would say would be Sugar Hill. You know, that was like the first actual rap song I heard. But the first song that I really was like, yo, I was feeling was The Breaks by Kurtis Blow. You know what I'm saying? It was like, cause it was different, you know what I mean? You know, and plus, like me being a young head that used to go skating, you know what I'm saying? That was like one of them songs, like, you know, Kurtis Blow, The Breaks, you know what I'm saying, the Christmas rap song, all of that stuff. That kind of came out around the same time when we was at skating. But that was like, you know, when we was at skating, we used to hear a lot of the rhythm and blue, you know, the soul, you know, regular records like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, just different stuff that our parents was playing. But when Kurtis Blow, The Breaks and Sugar Hill came out, that's when it kind of, you know, that was like something brand new. That was like something we never really heard.
But I would say the first rap song that really caught my attention was Hard Times by Run DMC. Whenever that came out, that was the one record that caught my attention. There might have been songs before that, but Hard Times, it spoke to me.
It was right after, I think it was that movie Breaking or something that came out. And then, you know, I was listening to the soundtrack of the, you know, the MCs on there, and I'm like, yo, that hip hop, that rapping is gonna blow off. That's gonna take off. Break dances were, you know, the hot thing, you know, as far as the hip hop culture. And then, you know, the music was always a combination of it. So that just really got me interested in it. So, you know, I just started, you know, messing around with it, lip singing. What song we used to sing? What's that joint with Luke? The boys down in Florida. Yeah, but anyway, so I just got into it like that, man. That's what got me interested in that.
The one who got me started, MC Showtime for sure. MC Showtime was the dopest rapper to me ever in Buffalo, in the beginning of hip hop for me. Besides that, it's kind of hard for me to think, but I remember other kinds of dudes that was influential for hip hop, like this dude Disco Danny, Kid Cole, Alan Cole, and DJ Warlock. Montana Crew, they really stuck out as like pioneers of hip hop for me.
You know, Showtime was like one of those dudes that was giant, one of the, like he was like our LL, the Buffalo LL, or the Buffalo, you know what I'm saying? Like one of the first cats that you seen that was like good coming out of Buffalo at a time where hip hop was so fresh. You know, we didn't really have a lot of people at that time that we looked at that was rhyming in Buffalo, and I was young, so I'm we young and looking at people, and he was one of those guys that was so nice, you know what I'm saying, at that time, that a lot of people looked at him like, oh shoot, people following him at the Juneteenth and all that stuff. But you know what I'm saying, he was I just remember him at the Juneteenth rocking a Kango, battling cats, you know what I'm saying, all the DJs out at the, in different places. He going from one spot at the Juneteenth where DJs is at to the next spot battling whoever wanted it, you know what I'm saying? So I would say Showtime was that one of the first MCs that I Jive was like, yo, this is that dude. That's
It's weird because in the 80s, we had some DJs that you had the Tough City Crew, Cold City Crew, and those guys was doing it big. But remember, a lot of times back then, in the first 80s, I was still young. It wasn't until like the Juneteenth and the block parties where I seen it. And there was so many different DJs, but I didn't know all the names at the time. I knew when hip hop started, I started getting into it. And there was a place called Record Theater, and I used to go and collect records from there. And this is back when, they first started. So Grandmaster Flash, I would say, was one of the first influences for me. Grandmaster Flash, Grandmaster DST. Then you had, Jam Master Jay. I really say, if you really want to ask me, like the first one really was Jam Master Jay, and then when I started seeing Cash Money and Jazzy Jeff, that just blew my mind. After
the first DJ crew that I kind of remember, and I was young, that I used to hear, they was ringing bells in Buffalo, was the Montana crew. You know what I mean? The Montana crew, I think, was the Pete, Lionel, Third, Worm, and all them type of dudes, you know what I mean? They was like, and I was young, and I'm still, cause I'm young, but my ears to the street. You know what I mean? Cause I was so in depth with just being on the hip hop scene. I was a little shorty waving and shit. I thought I was the sweetest nigga in Buffalo at my age, you know what I'm saying? So, me watching, listening, hearing Montana, they doing little block parties, and you know what I'm saying, I'm hearing from my older brother, the parties that they used to throw at families and all of these other, all these spots and shit like that. All the house parties they was doing. They was like the big DJ crew before, Cold City Crew kicked in. Then once Cold City Crew kicked in, it was like they just kind of took over.
Influences. Natural, Jam Master Jay, Jazzy Jeff, but also people I knew in real life, like DJ Magic Mike. As most New Yorkers, I moved to Florida during the 80s, and I lived in Orlando. I lived around the corner from him. I got to meet him, around 15. Super great person. We're still friends to this day. Peace to Mike Hampton. Still legends, still get busy on the table.
It was more DJ crews than rap crews at the time. Like the fellas was saying, they was giving off names: Cold City Crew, Tough City Crew, Fox City Crew. I was a part of a crew called Bad Boys Getting Paid. That was later in the 80s, but it was me. You can see me in the picture with the hat on. DJ 2, Aaron Leggins, George Simmons, G-Ski Rock, A-Dog D, and my man AZ. And then you had the DJ Stonies, Wolf D, Biz and Quiff, a whole bunch of DJs that really got busy. Too many today. Oh, DJ J.I. Yeah.
How did I meet Slice and Malek? One day I was driving up Main Street. I happened to be leaving Cochise house. I used to be in a group with Cochise called Extremely Hostile with another dude I won't mention. But I was leaving Cochise house with some vinyl that I left over there. And I wound up passing the IPE and I saw Scotty and a bunch of dudes out there that I knew. And Scotty waved me over. And he explained to me that they was down with Nickel City Beat Records and that I should get down with what was going on with them. So he introduced me to Slice and he took me in and I met everybody and he introduced me to Cheryl and that's how me and Slice got down. We was cool for a while and then we started vibing to make songs and stuff and you know, and we wound up getting cool because we found out that we lived not too far from each other. He lived on Coombs, I lived on Moselle. So we started vibing, we started doing a lot of, you know, getting up and him doing some writing, me making some beats. We wound up going to Cheryl's studio and we created this song called The Night Stalker. And that song wound up getting us look from a record label called London Polygram. They came to Buffalo and did a showcase with all the artists from Nickel City Beat. But Slice and I was a group for probably about 2 years and then we wound up bringing Malek into the group. First it was Slice and Chaotic, and then we changed the name of the group to Scam. It was Slice, Chaotic, and Malek. At first, Malek was a solo MC, you know, and he was dope, but he didn't have anybody really making any beats for him and stuff like that. Cheryl liked the way that I produced, so she started asking me to make beats for Malek. Now, Malek was hanging with us a lot throughout that time anyway, so I wound up getting to know him. He was cool, you know what I mean? We wound up having a few things in common. He was from Brooklyn. I used to live in Brooklyn. My father's family is from Brooklyn, Jersey, and Connecticut.
Son, I'm from the streets. The heat is dirt cheap. Everybody hungry, just wanna eat. Each one of us got like 3 guns on us. You run up on us, you get bong, promise. There's no joking, there's no sleeping. Keep your eyes open, you got wolves creeping. You got cops coming, they on your block circling. True bitches got these snitches circumcised. Now we know who's the shadiest. Spy can't spot them from a mile radius. And you speaking to the feds. Yeah, that's the reason why 20 niggas squeezing at your head. It's a reason for the lead.
It's 1995, and the whole entire world want to do my upstate crew represent. Check it out. Worldwide. We're about to step this shit off all you heads out there that make believe and don't believe and can't conceive what we can see. We're about to do this shit. Word up. Now see. We're about to get live from the east side.
Yeah, so yeah, like I said, everybody was all together, you know what I mean? And, you know, everybody was chilling, so, you know, we thought of like, yo, we should come up with a name. So everybody was like, you know, picking names. You know, we had a hat, everybody throw them in the hat, or the, you know, the names in the hat. A couple of cats had, you know, what was it, assassins they was gonna call us? But anyway, so yeah, everybody, I put upstate, everybody agreed upon it, and here we are.
Oh, the concept of the logo came from The Lost and Found, which was me, world famous, Rashid, Lebo Lee, which is my man Leon. We was the Lost and Found, considered to be the Black Eskimos, you know what I'm saying, and the land of the snow. So, once we got to the point on some upstate type of stuff, you know what I'm saying, that kind of like transcended into that. So everybody kind of adapted to the Eskimo concept, the Black Eskimo concept, because we're all from Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? We're all from Buffalo. We all on that snow stuff. So everybody, you know, kind of could relate to that. So we used that actual concept. So what happened was, off of that, Marlon, my man, M Audio, he brung the actual visualization, the visual to Black Eskimos because he did research on Black Eskimos. So he brung the visual to it, meaning that he brung like, you know, something to work off of. my man Doc Martin, he basically took that and then created the logo, the Eskimo, the black Eskimo, the logo of the black Eskimo. You know what I'm saying? And then I came, Rashid drew the moon on it. He drew it backwards. Cass was like, yo, why you draw the moon backwards? It looked better. He said it looked better. So we kept the moon on there. Boom. Then I came through, I added the upstate to the top of the logo. You know what I'm saying? And then later on, like I added the upstate letters on the top of the logo on some bubble letter type stuff or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But eventually, later on, I ended up getting up with my man Ant and them, you know what I'm saying? And Buster, you know, they ended up shaping the actual font for the logo, which created the whole upstate logo.
Stop the shit. Alright, here we go, yo. All night. I'ma do my little thing. Check it out, check it out, check it out, check it out. Hold up, I'ma do my thing. 1, 2. Alright, people like this. Pay attention to this, homeboy. We're gonna do it like this. I ain't hear nigga freestyle yet. His style said he was subliminal, a little criminal. He doesn't get assassinated, I'm ready to get me. You cut like a get tonight. I will take your life. I live tripe. I drink Amaretto. I used to live in the ghetto. Matter of fact, if you're Jersey, it says upstate. You should be locked down for the black vibes you kick. You need to get this soul. Skin on my dick, you want to battle. I battle like a snake. I'm on the cattle when you know this. They know when they don't think it's time to play you like Cino. You don't know nothing, motherfucker. You kill crews and your own news. I bang the blues. Cocksucker, fuck the deals. You want to come into the local skills, but to the local skills can't even pay your mother's bills. I come through and now I kick all the rails. Thinking with a nigga, use the term, I be the penicillin. Ain't no thing assassinated, you couldn't even feel it if you want to keep it real. Silent state. My mother had you, but the bitch made a mistake. I get Eliana, can wait, no thing assassin, robotic, or freestyle. Wow. On the beam like Dracula. Man, I smoke something with my eyes, be so spectacular. Man, it's all written down in poetry in the backwards. Niggas talk all that shit, they get slept on like mattress. Beyond the pillows, all these niggas saw sillos. Wanna come around, act like dildos, get fucked like real hoes. Man, what the fuck they be? I can't even see. Man, they all blinded like Stevie 1B. Where you find them? Man, they be upstate, living in hole at the bar, out the gates. Come around, check out the sound every time. Don't say Buffalo no more, say uptown when you ride. Everybody know upstate, upstate, oh upstate. I made that jam about half hour late. Real man, DJ Scotty Hype. Man, DJ Hype nice. 91.3, this what I really wanted. This what I wanted. This what I wanted. Check it out. Check it out. Bro, stop the music. Stop the music. This ain't no novelty act, man. We going rhyme for rhyme. No. If you imitating me, you Rich Little. You an impressionist and not a rapper, bro. Dig it, man. Let's keep this real. Rhyme for rhyme, bro. Set it off. Set it off. Set it off. Here we go. Go ahead. Set it off. Before sundown. Nigga got the nerve while his Adidas are all run down. Turn the ball sideways, you'll be up in prison. Styles that don't make it suck my roots of my religion. You got an afro, the great nights look up. Took the bike now, you're walking home from the jail. And you can head, slide. My rhymes take the 5-7 floor of the guard. Then niggas in Lord. I'll put break. That's how the
I got a lot of great memories of Nate, man. Nate, his personality was so big, you know. He could just light up the room. You know what I mean? He just had that personality, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Never phony. Nate never phony. He'll tell you how it is, you know what I mean? Tell you how it is, man. Plus the man had his style was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? He could come up with shit off the top of his head, you know, anything, right on the spot, you know what I'm saying? That was our go-to man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like Sicky, you Sick Nate, MCs and shit, you know what I mean?
My best memory of D Nate as a person, him always coming to the house trying to, in the last stages after the squad was over, he was always coming to my house like, yo, we gotta get the crew back together, we gotta get the crew back together. And I was down with it. But my most memorable memory of Dirty Nate was him battling Craig G. Classic battle, classic battle.
How did I come up with the name Mental Torture? Well, you know, in the 90s, being from Buffalo and being in high school, it was always about battle rapping on the back of the bus. So my name was corny. I was just leaving the early 90s with the name, like, you know, everybody was naming it Easy This, such and such, Ski That. And I had a name, I think my name was like Easy J at the time. And Slicing was like, bruh, that name ain't gonna cut it. You gotta get another name. And so it was about when I rap, we didn't write raps so that the consumer would like it. We wasn't writing songs for them. We spit so the other MC would say you was dope or not. It was always about what the other MC thought. And so I just felt when the MC hear my bars, he gonna go home with me in his mind. Like, he ain't gonna forget me. I'm gonna make a rapper wanna go home and write something. And it was always going to stay in your mind. I was going to torture your mind until you wrote something better than what you heard me say. Hence the name.
Upstate entertainers, conglomerate, product prominent. Make sure your spot is with companies offering sponsorship and publicity, because they see the chemistry that will take over the industry. Smoking ready for with the Genesee. Coming out the people vicinity, platinum capability. Costing this in and out facility. On some of these videos, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. There's some limited skills exhibited. Writing's prohibited. Mic in my hand is a crowd stimulant. Don't matter where you went, who you with, how many words you been, how many cats you pistol with, how much crystal you sip. Screaming millionaire status, and you the baddest. I ain't racing since I'm one of the fattest. Niggas asking who that cat is. Where my upstate nigga? Put them up. You with my upstate nigga? Put them up. Put them up. Yo, 7 rhymes for 7 minds. 7 things sold, 7 times, 7 lashes for 7 niggas in their pride. Protect niggas 1200, same off in my eye socket. Rocket niggas, Chris Rocket! Flex, we lying here. Watch these lazy cats and all that slum rap shit. Combination page just got here. Like the summer song back, flipping fully the chip. You know me rated all my crew. Coming through HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, pay-per-view. When you hear raw, niggas, that means war. And when you see the world fading, you in a pole.
You know, you already know. My little guppy right behind the camera is my #1 new soldier to be, my soldierette to be from the Cologne Limit family. Yo, this is Dirty. Hey, I'm cooling with Keith and I'm cooling with Delicious Doretta.
One time down.
Hey, show this one for the kids. Show this one.
Peace to all.
Y'all, I'm not in the back. Yo, he's moving soft, like cats that trying to act raw, but ain't got no claws. They sleeping on cotton balls, sports like my flow is pleasant. They full of seeds, they piece of cheese, I piece of prophecies, and rock for teas like Lebanese. So it's the surface for the surface. Yo, I worship to his majesty, worship his necessity. He says, flashbacks, flow with the mask, scared that hitting fast, like he woke up too late in his car crash. So analyze lines, rememberize lines, the mind to save mankind, at tribulation time. So, cordless, so let's be cordless. I walk on my cords like tight ropes and double dutch the trees, no realness. Like a man in a yoke, stuffing these chewable foldable down his throat till he choke. Yo, it's I was shy at the flesh of men. I spit testament to the best of men for the Lord. So me repent, I smack it back with my doctor like.
But too many niggas smoke drugs. I'm leaving on the logo, wherever you see the logo. Focus the street, set up my pump with the heat and dolo. No sleep with the coldest street, yo. So don't be dolo. You supposed to keep the local. I just do the chokehold to keep them with
Fuckers in, you know we get down. 716 to Queen City, corner store, stay busy. To all my Buffalo soldiers, if you fucking with me, liquor shop, every block, Hickory, the Comstock, victory is ours. Sipping straight without the rocks, dedicated to all the Buffalo corner blocks, fast food spots, liquor stores, and the barber shops. Sweethearts, be everywhere. You know that's the second stair, mouth wide open as you stare at the derriere. Nighttime street lights, they shine like chandeliers. Range Rover, pump tank. You know that joint, everybody on the run, on the go, get in, Buffalo Park, slow it down the bad years, but there's the crowds that we can't do it like the Van City Law, and the education for a black market, Buffalo Police Department, lack of employment, providing us with benefits. But anyway, I caught my case from Rich just the other day, plus the brother Jack with lifestyles on Broadway.
If you to a place you can't relate to, first stop, you a money, make you a break, you will not mistake you for someone else, you get to hop on around, break that's fighting, and inspire little kids, and right on the way, we're praying for yourself to retire, lay fire, it's hotter than a fucking dryer, blow the lifestyle of Maya, that's a good time, years, getting more around corners like that.
You boppers out there in the big city, all you street people with an ear for the action, I've been asked to relay a request.
All I played was basically getting the music overseas. Basically, you know what I mean? In and out of the country, in different cities in Buffalo, you know, through the different regions in Canada and whatnot.
Buffalo hip-hop history, bro. Gang Bang 98 was us taking the torch, in a sense, and planting our flag as the generation of now at that time. That whole run, 95 to 98, but Gang Bang 98 in particular, I can't remember what every crew was doing at the time, but I know we were the crew who came out. We had cassettes, merchandise. I mean, Upstate looked so official in the streets of Buffalo that it was rumors that we had big time record deals. And we know we didn't sign no record deals, but that's how impactful Upstate was. And really, it was an expression of, after a few years of being a crew, it was the culmination of our vibe, our swag, our look, our sound, and really our stamp on Buffalo hip hop at the time. That was what, 30 years ago now. But at that time, bro, it was groundbreaking. And from Gang Bang 98, we really did inspire a whole bunch of other crews that came up at that time. Salute to all of them boys,
generations.
Man. Generations of rappers from that time, and now even today, rappers who you might know from Buffalo. Like shout out the Griselda movement. They would know that at that time, in the early 90s, when they was, because they younger than us by a little bit, at that time, when they was listening to rap, when they was like 10 and 11, we was 19 and 20 years old, and we was inspiring them boys. So yeah, that's what Gang Bang 98 was. Who would have known at the time that by the time 2005, 2010 come, all the dudes who was 8, 9, 10 years old growing up on Buffalo hip hop, they would say that we was some of the guys. Not the only ones, but we was definitely some of the ones who inspired them.
The key players.
Yeah.
All right, on the Gang Bang 98, you know, it was a song called The Truth, which was with Gutter the Rebel and my man Malek. It was produced by Dutch Master June. We had Gang Bang 98, which was world famous, produced by me. We had This Money, which was Slice and Torture, aka Zadok, which was produced by Doc Martin. We had Unstable, which was Torture, produced by Doc Martin. We had No Help Wanted by Dirty Nate, which was produced by me. We we had The Masses, which was Doc Martin and my man M Audio, which was produced by Doc Martin. And let me see if I'm missing anything. No, I think that's it.
My advice I would give the younger rappers is get your business together. If you can, do it with like-minded people. It'll make it a lot easier. You know, business and like-minded people. You know, try to separate friends from business and just keep pushing. Our legacy, man, we entered in on top as, you know, individuals, collectively. We came together, created something dope, you know, started this underground type 90s vibe in Buffalo. People latched on to it, you know, but we came in with a bang and we leave with a bang. You know, we leave back out with that same energy for the people.
Well, I would tell them that, you know, it's more than just having the talent or ability to create a song, a hip-hop song. You gotta have your paperwork in order. You know what I mean? There's a lot of sides to it than just rap. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have an image, personality. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, like I said, you gotta do your paperwork. It's a business. So you have to learn the whole aspect of the music. So.
What would you want Upstate legacy to be remembered as?
Oh man, as just a positive force that was in Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? Just everybody's character, man. You know what I mean? Just the creativity and you know, what God put together, let no man take apart. You know what I'm saying? So as far as Upstate, man, just remember it's one of the greatest groups in Buffalo.
My man, that's it.